Welcome to the Midday News. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. The Commission also warned that inappropriate marking of boxes or spaces provided on the ballot papers by voters may affect the overall outcome of the elections. The INEC Assistant Director of Planning and Program in the Department of Voter Education, Dorothy Inyang, raised the concern during the final stage of the Voter Education Innovative Dragons Den competition organized by Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening and International Foundation for Electoral System in Abuja. According to her, INEC was working hard in educating and enlightening the electorate on how to effectively participate in the electoral process. Consequently, the Commission advised voters to follow the procedure for voting their preferred candidate or party correctly or have such votes invalidated. Meanwhile, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has raised the alarm that the coming election will either make or break Nigeria. He warned that politicians may wreck the country if religious leaders are not watchful. Chief Obasanjo appealed to religious leaders in the country to stop those he described as bad politicians from destroying the country. Speaking when the new president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Daniel Oko, paid him a courtesy visit at his Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, penthouse residence in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, he warned that if politicians with no fear of God are allowed to have their way, the entire country would regret it, adding that Nigerian politicians should be made more responsible for the country's religious leaders. The outgoing Governor of Ogun State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, has dissolved the State Executive Council. He said the dissolution was done ahead of the October 16 inauguration of the Governor-elect Biodun Oyebanji. Dr. Fayemi, who made the pronouncement during the valedictory excuse session held at the Governor's office in Ado-Ekiti, directed the appointees to hand over to the most senior civil servants, ministries, departments, and agencies. He appreciated their support and contributions towards the restoration of the state. The Central Nigeria has begun and will last 6 months. He said this while explaining on the implications of interest rate hike by the Apex Bank, Yila, who named the Anchor Borrowers Program and Commercial Agri-Credit as some of the interventions programs, said every person or state that took loan is going to pay through their biometric verification number made available to the bank. The CBN director added that the Apex Bank is collaborating with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to ensure that the loans are recovered. The Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has charged senior directors to ensure strict compliance with asset declaration processes. A permanent secretary in the ministry, Bashir Akali, gave the warning during a sensitization workshop organized for directors in the strict compliance with the asset declaration processes, code of conduct, and the consequences attached to the infringements. According to the 14 codes guiding public officers in the Code of Conduct Act and Code of Ethics in Government Business, civil servants are mandated to declare their assets every 4 years within years they are still in service. The permanent secretary, represented by the Director, Highways Planning and Development, Uzo Ubona, added that all the other levels of the officers in the ministry will go through a similar workshop because of its sensitivity and importance to the public, and that refusal is an offense liable for sanctions. The federal government has declared next Monday, October 3, as a public holiday to mark Nigeria's 62nd independence anniversary. Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola, in a communique signed by Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Shuaib Begore, Aregbesola made the declaration on behalf of federal government. He also congratulated Nigerians on this year's celebration and assured them of the government's commitment to tackling challenges facing the nation. The minister pointed out that the world is going through dire economic and security challenges, which have also affected Nigeria. However, the government will continue to confront all the challenges with all the might at its disposal to better the lots of the people. Aregbe Shola therefore called on Nigerians to use the occasion to reflect on the challenges facing the nation and the role individuals can play in addressing them. And moving on to sport, Japan head coach Futoshi Ikeda has unveiled his squad for the international friendly against the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Ikeda named 25 players for the game built for Novel Stadium, Kobe, next Thursday. A number of foreign-based players are included in the squad, including West Ham United duo Risa Chimizu and Honoka Ayashi, Roma of Italy defensive stalwart Moka Minami, North Carolina's Fuka Nagano, and Anna Takahashi, who plays for Urawa Reds ladies, were also included in the squad. The encounter will be the fourth meeting between both countries. It will be recalled that Super Falcons defeated Japan 1-0 in the first ever meeting between both teams at the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, Greece. While on the foreign countries have been urged to go beyond mere aspirations and set a target of zero net emissions for air travel as the United Nations Aviation Body meets for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking at the opening of the International Civil Aviation Organization's Council Assembly since the COVID-19 pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine, President of ICAO, Salvatore Shikatino, said mere aspirations are no longer sufficient where the climate and the well-being of the planet and all its species are concerned. He further said, when challenges confront humanity on a truly global scale, and there is an expectation for aviation to be at the leading edge of the collective global response, the ICAO Assembly, which takes place every 3 years, follows a preparatory meeting in July that called on the body's 193 member states to come together to reach an agreement to achieve zero carbon emissions by 2050. Still on the foreign scene, at least 3 people have been confirmed dead, with as many as 15 missing after a bridge collapsed as some vehicles were traveling across it in the northern Brazilian state of Amazonas. The Amazonas Fire Department said it was looking for more than a dozen people after the concrete bridge on the highway in Carreiro, a town about 100 kilometers south of the provincial capital, Manaus, collapsed. It was gathered that some vehicles were crossing the bridge at the time it gave way and 15 people were injured. Eyewitnesses said that the bridge had developed a crack which was causing a traffic jam before the collapse. And that ends the meeting on OSBC TV. It was edited by Babatunde Bolatito. Join us at 3 for the state news. Good afternoon.
káàsán ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí Kamil Abdulrahim lóníròyìn yín. Àjọ elétò ìdìbò lórílẹ̀‐èdè INEC ti rọ àwọn èèyàn ilẹ̀ yìí láti dìbò wọn lọ́nà tó tọ́ lásìkò ìdìbò gbogbogbò ọdún tó ń bọ̀. Àjọ náà sì kìlọ̀ pé táwọn olùdìbò bá ṣe àṣìṣe lórí ìwé ìdìbò ó lè ṣàkóbá fún àbájáde ètò ìdìbò náà. Àtẹ̀lé olùdarí ẹ̀ka tó wà fọ́rọ̀ ààtò àti àgbékalẹ̀ nílé iṣẹ́ náà Dorothy Nyang ló ṣèkìlọ̀ yìí níbi ètò kan tó wáyé l'Àbújá. Gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe wí, àjọ INEC ń ṣiṣẹ́ kárakára láti làwọn olùdìbò lọ́yẹ̀ lórí ohun tó tọ́ láti ṣe lásìkò ìdìbò. Látàrí èyí, àjọ náà ti gba àwọn olùdìbò níyànjú láti tẹ̀lé àgbékalẹ̀ tó yẹ lásìkò tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ dìbò fún olùdìbò tó wù wọ́n lọ́jọ́ ìdìbò. Ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí Olóyè Olúṣẹ́gun Ọbásanjọ́ ti ké gbàjarè pé ó ṣeé ṣe kí ètò ìdìbò gbogbogbò ọdún tó ń bọ̀ kó fìdí ìṣọ̀kan orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí múlẹ̀ tàbí kó pín orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Ó sì kìlọ̀ pé ó ṣeé ṣe káwọn olóṣèlú ṣàkóbá fún orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí táwọn adarí ẹ̀sìn kò bá kíyèsára. Olóyè Ọbásanjọ́ rọ àwọn adarí ẹ̀sìn láti káwọn olóṣèlú mọ̀dàrú lọ́wọ́ kò nídìí àti bà orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí jẹ́. Nígbà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lásìkò tó gbàlejò adarí tuntun fẹ́gbẹ́ àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà Daniel Okon nílùú Abẹ́òkúta ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, Olóyè Ọbásanjọ́ sì kìlọ̀ pé táwọn olóṣèlú tí kò bá níbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run bá láǹfààní sípò adarí, àwọn èèyàn orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí yóò kábàámọ̀. Ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí ọ̀hún wá rọ àwọn adarí ẹ̀sìn láti jẹ́ káwọn olóṣèlú mọ ohun tó tọ́. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì tí sáà rẹ̀ ń parí lọ Ọ̀mọ̀wé Káyọ̀dé Fáyẹmí ti tú ìgbìmọ̀ aláṣẹ ìjọba rẹ̀ ká. Ó ní ìgbésẹ̀ náà ṣáájú ètò gbígbé èkó ìdàkóso fún gómìnà táwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ náà dìbò yàn Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí èyí tí yóò wáyé lọ́jọ́ 16 oṣù tó ń bọ̀. Ọ̀mọ̀wé túká tó wáyé ní ọ́fíìsì gómìnà ní Adó Èkìtì pàṣẹ pé kí gbogbo àwọn tọ́rọ̀ kàn ọ̀hún kó fa àkóso iléeṣẹ́ wọn lé ọ̀gá pátápátá ní iléeṣẹ́ wọn lọ́wọ́. Ó mọ rírì àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ aláṣẹ náà àti ipa tí wọ́n kó nídìí ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì. Báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìgbésẹ̀ láti fi kún ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ pé ọwọ́jà ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà yóò dé ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ yòókù látàrí pàtàkì kíkéde dúkìá. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti kéde ọjọ́ ajé ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ tọdún yìí tó sì fi ìfarajìn ìjọba múlẹ̀ láti kojú gbogbo ìpèníjà tó lédè yìí ń kojú àti gbogbo àwọn èèyàn ilẹ̀ yìí lápapọ̀. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Arẹ́gbẹ́ṣọlá tẹnumọ́ ìpinnu ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà láàrin àwọn akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ àti ọ̀nà láti jẹ́ ẹ̀sìn iwájú títẹ̀yìn wò sáré láàrin àwọn yòókù rẹ̀ tí àfojúsùn náà sì lè wá sí ìmúṣẹ pẹ̀lú iṣẹ́ àṣekára àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Mínísítà fọ́rọ̀ abẹ́lé wa gba àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí nímọ̀ràn pé kí wọ́n lo àkókò náà láti fi wọ́nà àbáyọ sí ìpèníjà tílẹ̀ yìí ń kojú àti ipa tí oníkọ̀ọ́jì ikọ̀ lè kó láti fi wójútùú sáwọn ìṣòro náà. Ó tún rọ àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí láti jára mọ́ṣẹ́ kí wọ́n sì yàgò fún gbogbo ìwà ọ̀daràn àtàwọn ìwà kò tọ́mì láwùjọ. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Arẹ́gbẹ́ṣọlá tún gba àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà nímọ̀ràn láti jẹ́ ojúlàlá kan fi sọrí kí wọ́n ó sì máa fi ìròyìn nípa ẹni tí wọ́n bá kẹ́fín pé èrè rẹ̀ kò mọ́ tó àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò tó súnmọ́ wọn létí. Ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ náà ló jẹ́ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹrin irú ẹ̀ tí ikọ̀ agbábọ́ọ̀lù orílẹ̀-èdè méjèèjì yóò kojú ara wọn. Àwòrán ti pé ikọ̀ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Japan pẹ̀lú àmì ayò kan sódò nígbà tí wọ́n pàdé ara wọn pẹ̀lú orílẹ̀-èdè yìí fúngbà àkọ́kọ́ lọ́dún 2004. Ó ṣe pàtàkì fáwọn orílẹ̀ lórí ìgbópin yóò ṣe bá bí èéfín bàálù ní báyìí tí ìgbìmọ̀ tó mójútó ètò ìrìnnà ojú òfurufú lábẹ́ àjọ ìṣọ̀kan àgbáyé ṣe ìpàdé fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ lẹ́yìn àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn COVID-19. Nígbà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ níbi ìṣíde ìpàdé àjọ tó mójútó ètò ìrìnnà òfurufú lágbàáyé èyí tí ṣe àkọ́kọ́ rú ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn COVID-19 àti aáwọ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin orílẹ̀-èdè Russia àti Ukraine, adarí àjọ náà ṣàlàyé pé kò bójúmu tó láti máa ní èrò níwájú sí pé nígbà tí ìpèníjà bá ń kojú ọmọnìyàn lórílẹ̀‐èdè àgbáyé ohun tó ṣe pàtàkì ni kí ẹ̀ka ìrìnnà òfurufú gbé ìgbésẹ̀ àti ìwójútùú ṣe. Àjọ tó mójútó ètò ìrìnnà òfurufú lágbàáyé ọ̀hún tó jókòó àpérò lọ́dún mẹ́ta tẹ́lẹ̀ ní àgbékalẹ̀ ìpàdé oṣù kejì ọdún tó ní kí gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè tó jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ náà máa foríkorí láti fẹnukò lórí bópin yóò sì bá èéfín tó máa ń jáde láti inú ìbá. bí wọ́n ti dágbére fáyé tí èèyàn 15 sì ti dàwátì lẹ́yìn afárá kan tó já lásìkò tí ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn ọkọ̀ ń lọ káàkiri láti apá àríwá Brazil ní Amazonas. Fọ́ṣẹ̀lẹ̀ pàjáwìrì ní Amazonas sọ pé òun ti ń wá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èrò tó.